It was the early 1980s in the United States. Life felt simpler. People trusted the products they bought. Families went to grocery stores, pharmacies, and local shops without fear. Back then, when you bought medicine from a store, you didn't think twice. If you had a headache, you grabbed a bottle of pain reliever. If you had a fever, you took a capsule. No one imagined that something sold legally on the shelves could become a deadly weapon. But in September 1982, everything changed. It started quietly in the Chicago area. A 12-year-old girl named Mary Kellerman woke up one morning feeling sick. She had cold-like symptoms and complained of pain. Her parents did what millions of American parents had done for decades.
They gave her extra-strength Tylenol, one of the most trusted pain relievers in the country. Tylenol was a household name. It was everywhere: homes, hospitals, and pharmacies. Mary swallowed the capsule, and within minutes, she collapsed. She was rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. Mary Kellerman died that same day. Doctors were shocked. How could a healthy child die so suddenly from what was considered a safe over-the-counter medicine? At first, it looked like a tragic, unexplained medical incident. But then, something even darker happened. Not long after Mary's death, a 27-year-old man named Adam Janus took Tylenol for chest pain. Adam was a father, he had a stable job, a normal American life. Within a short time after swallowing the medicine, Adam collapsed. He was taken to the hospital, where he died suddenly. Doctors and family members were confused and heartbroken, but the tragedy didn't end there. While Adam's relatives gathered to mourn him, two of his family members, his brother and sister-in-law, complained of headaches. They did what people naturally do at funerals and stressful times. They reached for the same bottle of Tylenol in the house. They swallowed the capsules, and soon after, both collapsed. Both died. Now the situation became terrifying. 3 people dead from the same medication. A coincidence was no longer possible. Chicago police and medical investigators immediately realized something was wrong. The deaths were too sudden, too fast, too similar. Hospitals began reporting more strange deaths. More people had died after taking Tylenol. In total, 7 people in the Chicago area died in only a short period. 7 Americans, regular citizens, gone in days. And the killer wasn't a gun, it wasn't a knife, it wasn't a visible threat. It was something hidden inside an everyday medicine bottle. Investigators quickly took samples of the Tylenol capsules from victims' homes. They tested them, and what they discovered shocked the nation. The Tylenol capsules had been poisoned with cyanide. Cyanide is one of the deadliest poisons known. It attacks the body fast. It can stop breathing within minutes. It was not an accident. Someone had intentionally opened bottles of Tylenol, placed cyanide inside the capsules, and returned the bottles to store shelves. This meant the killer wasn't targeting one person. They were targeting everyone. Anyone could be next. Mothers, children, elderly people, anyone who trusted a pharmacy shelf. The fear spread across the country like wildfire. News stations interrupted programs. Headlines screamed warnings. Phones rang non-stop in police stations. People rushed to check their medicine cabinets. Families threw away pills. Hospitals warned patients. Some stores removed Tylenol completely from shelves. The entire United States was panicking. Imagine turning on the TV and hearing, "Do not take Tylenol, it may kill you." That was the reality of America in 1982. The fear was so intense that even people far from Chicago stopped taking Tylenol immediately. It wasn't just a Chicago problem anymore. It became a national emergency. At that time, Tylenol controlled a huge part of the pain relief market in America. The company behind it, Johnson & Johnson, faced the biggest crisis in its history. Their product was being used as a weapon. Their brand was collapsing in real time. And the country demanded answers. People asked, who did this? Why? And how could medicine bottles be opened so easily? Because in 1982, many medicine bottles did not have strong protective seals like today. A person could open the bottle, tamper with the capsules, and return it without anyone noticing. The world had never experienced something like this. Investigators began searching for the killer. Police checked stores, tracked supply chains, questioned employees, and searched for suspicious purchases. They believed the poisoner likely bought Tylenol bottles, tampered with them at home, then secretly placed them back on store shelves. It was a terrifyingly simple plan, and because it was so simple, it was almost impossible to trace. Meanwhile, Johnson & Johnson made a decision that became legendary in American business history. They recalled Tylenol. Not just a few bottles, not a small batch. They recalled every Tylenol product across the United States. Over 31 million bottles were pulled back. The company lost over $100 million instantly, but they did it anyway, because they knew the most important thing was not money, it was public safety. They warned the public to stop using Tylenol. They worked with police and federal investigators. They cooperated with the FDA. They went on television and explained what was happening, and in doing so, they helped prevent even more deaths. The recall was one of the largest and most expensive product recalls in U.S. history, and it probably saved countless lives. But the nightmare still wasn't over, because the killer was still out there. Then the police received a chilling letter. The letter was sent to Johnson & Johnson and claimed responsibility for the murders. The writer demanded $1 million to stop the poisoning. The letter was cold, confident, and cruel. Investigators tracked it. They suspected a man named James William Lewis. He was arrested. But here's the most disturbing part of the story. They could never prove he actually poisoned the Tylenol. He was convicted for extortion and spent time in prison, but the true Tylenol killer was never officially identified. To this day, the Tylenol murders remain one of America's most haunting unsolved cases. But what happened next changed the entire country forever. After the murders, the U.S. government and major companies realized something terrifying. If one person could poison medicine bottles so easily, then anyone could do it again. So America responded with a massive safety revolution. New laws were created, new packaging rules were introduced, and this is why today, when you buy medicine in the United States, you see plastic seals, foil covers, safety rings, tamper-proof caps, protective packaging. All of that exists because of the Tylenol murders. Before 1982, tamper-proof packaging was not common.
After 1982, it became the standard. The tragedy literally forced the country to upgrade consumer safety. Even food packaging improved because of this case. It didn't just affect medicine, it changed how Americans trust products. It created a new mindset. If the seal is broken, do not use it. This one horrifying event transformed American consumer protection forever. And that's what makes this story so powerful. 7 innocent people died because someone wanted to create fear. But their deaths led to a system that now protects millions. Their tragedy forced a nation to become safer. Today, when you open a bottle of medicine and struggle with the tight plastic seal, remember, that seal exists because in 1982, America learned a deadly lesson, a lesson written in blood. And even now, decades later, Americans still wonder, who did it? Why did they do it? And could it ever happen again? The Tylenol murders remain one of the most chilling cases in U.S. history, not only because of the deaths, but because the killer was never caught.